going to stay on here too long, so I'll just make this short and simple. Still having to fight off this COVID shit, bro. And I'm getting better. As the days go on, I'm on day 9 of COVID, man. And like I said, I've been fighting it, man. Fighting every day. And I'm getting better, so that's good. Just want to continue to, drink orange juice, drink all my fluids and shit, and just, I wouldn't wish this upon my worst enemy, to have this shit, man. It's just it's a shitty ass virus to have, bro. But I'll get over it though. I ain't even tripping. But what a win against Jacksonville last week. I mean, we straight up just dominated the Jaguars. And I told Jaguars fans from the get-go, to stop living on the hype of the draft. You draft a quarterback, and then you hype them up, and then we end up just smacking the Jaguars around. That's nothing new. Jaguars fans, how long will it take before they turn on this quarterback? How long will it take before they ask Urban Meyer to get fired? How long will it take, Jaguars fans? Oh, got to give Jagganoff a shout-out for honoring the bet and pine himself in the face. So shout out to Jagganoff. Shout out to Jacksonville Jaguars fans. But I told you what was going to happen. Don't shoot the messenger. I just know Jacksonville. I know my own division. I know the idiots that root for the Jaguars. And no offense, but, Jaguars fans are morons. But it's okay, though. I still have love for you guys. No big deal. But every year you hype up the new quarterback you get in the draft because you're a top 5 pick every year. And then I'm the guy that says, I told you so after the first week. And then I told you that Trevor Lawrence was not going to be that good. I told you guys that. Okay. We got DF Sports in the comments section, a Browns fan. What's going on, bro? See, look, I kind of like that we have Browns fans coming in here. And everyone said, where's your hate week at, Rose? You didn't bring your hate week for the Browns. Look, I don't hate the Browns. There's nothing to hate about them. In fact, we have a lot in common. No Super Bowls, no Super Bowl appearances between both franchises. A long history of quarterbacks that were mediocre to subpar average. Again, Browns have been doing pretty well in the draft the last 2 or 3 years. You can argumentatively say that. They obviously found their franchise quarterback in Baker Mayfield. We obviously found ours in Deshaun Watson until everything went down with him. And now we got Tyrod Taylor, who actually did play for the Browns. Call me crazy. I got this crazy hunch that Tyrod is out for revenge. He says the Browns are out for revenge. This is Tyrod Taylor's revenge week. So is OBJ coming back? Is OBJ playing? Yeah, I still got COVID, but I'll get over that shit. I'm on 9 days right now. I'll get over it, bro. It's not a big deal, right? Well, what do I think the Browns are going to do to win? Well, it's quite simple. I think they're going to control the time clock. And what they're going to do is they're going to pound the run with Nick Chubb and a combination of Kareem Hunt. I think that the Browns are going to play a lot of clock management in this game. You might even see a couple of checkdowns by Baker. I do think he might resort to passing the ball, here and there, of course, methodically mixing it up. But I think the Browns are going to do what they did in the Chiefs game, which is dominate the clock. And I think that the Texans, if anything, we're good. We are very good at time management, dude. So to be honest with you, we lost to Cleveland last year. I think it was last year, 10-7. And that was the same game plan they had against us last year. And if it wasn't for Romeo Crennel messing it up, we obviously could have won that game and kicked the damn field goal and tie the game instead of going for it. I think we could have beaten the Browns. And look, and we were terrible, mind you, and we still narrowly missed them. Now, obviously, Browns are 11.5-point favor. I don't know if that's changed. That was the last time I checked 3 days ago. If it's changed, let me know. But the last time I checked, Vegas odds had Browns at 11.5. I honestly think they gave the Browns way too many points on that because if you considered last year, 4.5-point spread, we covered that. So I don't know where the hell they go off thinking, they give the Browns nearly triple the points of Vegas odds they did last year. That makes absolutely no sense. I almost kind of laughed at that because I said, wait a minute, hold on. So how the hell are you going to give them 11.5-point favorites when last year they only had a 4.5 and we were at our worst? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Browns are still rebuilding in the right direction. They're obviously not the same Browns that people keep saying they are, so I'm going to drop that shit. The Browns are on an up and coming. The Bengals are an up and coming. Steelers are on a rebound. The AFC North is argumentatively probably going to be the best division in football this year, minus the NFC West. I think those are going to be the top two divisions to watch out for. So I'm not going to sit here and say same old Browns or anything like that. But one thing I will say is that if we're going to beat Cleveland, I say this is the best time of the year to do that. Why? Like DF Sports has said, we don't have to worry about the bad weather, number one. Number two, if Tyrod Taylor can stay in the pocket and he has time in the pocket and we don't have to worry about our offensive line collapsing, I think he can do almost just as much significant damage. I wouldn't say against Jacksonville than against Cleveland, but I think he can get guys open like Danny Amendola, Chris Conley, and get those guys open. Jordan Atkins, get Brevin Jordan involved, get our tight ends involved. Texans love using their tight ends outside of our wide receiver set. So I think if Tyrod, he doesn't have to throw any deep passing, but if he can stay in the pocket long enough, can get us 10 yards for the first down, I'm not expecting Tyrod Taylor to beat the Browns in the deep ball. So this game is going to be a lot of short passing. This game is going to be determined on how well the offensive line does on both sides. And honestly, it's going to come down to clock management. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game, despite the fact that my score says otherwise in the bottom. But there's a part of me that predicts that if the Texans can fire early and we can put points on the board early in the game, we might be able to attack the Browns' confidence level. There's one thing the Browns, I've known them for years, is they're good at is when you punch them in the mouth early, sometimes it's hard for them to come back. The same thing for the Texans. That's why I think the Browns are going to stick with the run game to start the game off. I think, again, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb is going to run the ball, and that's what I expect them to do. I expect it's going to come down to them taking 7-8 minutes off the clock, probably try to put 7 points on the board early. So it's up to the Texans defense to be able to contain the Browns and try to hold them. And again, I think this is going to be a time of possession game, and don't be surprised in this game if it may be low scoring, maybe under the 20s, something like that. I don't think the Browns want to go tit for tat in terms of passing because Tyrod Taylor has been proven effectively that he can pass. And this might be a resurgence of Tyrod Taylor that we haven't seen since he played with Buffalo in the wild card round in that loss against Jacksonville. He hadn't had a good year since. That's what, about 4 or 5 years ago? So, yeah, since 2017. So if we can get Tyrod Taylor enough pass protection, I think he can throw darts. I really think so. Now, you're probably going to tell yourself, well, you're delusional if you think you're going to beat the Browns this week. Yeah, you're probably right. This is a game the Browns should be able to come back. This is a game. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if they kick our ass to a certain degree. But I have a funny feeling the Browns are going to let loose off the pedal. They're going to say, oh, yeah, this is an easy win right here. Look at the schedule. It's Tyrod Taylor. I remember when he played for us, and that guy's trash. And the Texans organization is trash, and we're on a turnaround. We're on a come-up. And, yeah, that is true. The Browns are argumentatively a top 5 pick in terms of Super Bowl contenders. Everybody's been talking about that since the offseason. So this game is more for Cleveland to win than for us. We lose, we're 1-1. We go to Carolina on Thursday, short week. We can rebound against Sam Darnold. Easily. But the Browns, they can't start 0-2. That's going to put them far behind in that division. Steelers 1-0, Bengals 1-0. Bengals could go 2-0 this week against the Bears. I think they'll beat the Bears. You got the Steelers hosting the Raiders. That could be a winnable game. They could go 2-0. Ravens, they always play well against Kansas City. A win on Sunday night. So with that being said, it's more pressure for the Browns to win than for us. There's absolutely nothing for us to lose. The Colts are 0-1, probably going to go 0-2 against the Rams. Jacksonville is Jacksonville. They'll probably beat the Broncos. That's an iffy game. The Tennessee Titans are heading up to Seattle in a game I think they're going to get smashed on. I think the Seahawks are going to smash on them. So for us to lose means absolutely nothing in this game. And I think with that being said, I think this gives us an opportunity to play a little bit harder and against the pressure. And that's exactly where we need to be. We're exactly where we're at. Browns 11.5 favorite. Go ahead, give it to them. The Browns are predicted. One ESPN analyst I was reading said the Browns 40, Texans 3. That's fine. So they gave Browns 11.5 point favor. Fine, give them 11.5. Vegas. Remember, we covered the 4.5 last year with a shitty roster and bad coaching. This year, same thing almost. And you gave them 11.5. I don't know why. And that's after we kicked the shit out of Jacksonville, by the way. In a game, y'all gave Jacksonville 8.5 favor. And then y'all give them 11.5. I don't get how they do that, but whatever. You want to give them 11.5? Give them 11.5 points. If Texans don't win this game, they'll cover the spread. You don't got to worry about that. It's going to be no more than a touchdown. But I have this hunch. Tyrod goes off in the first half. He's going to put points on the board early. I have this crazy feeling that we're going to go up 27-7 at halftime. Call me weird. I had a dream about this the other day. We're up 27-7 and Tyrod's dancing and Presidor's making his halftime rants as usual. And then in the second half, the Browns start picking the pace up. They start putting points early on the board. They close the gap. And at the end of the game, we make the game-winning drive. And I think the Texans go into Cleveland. We shock the world. And we go 34-27 final. I think the Texans have a big first half. The Browns have a big second half. But it's not enough as the Texans barely escape Cleveland 2-0. You got the Browns 37-13? Okay. Okay. If you want, DF, you can come on here and we can talk football. No trash talk or anything like that. I really have no hate for the Browns. You're not really in my division. We have a lot in common. I mean, your team's on up and coming. You guys had an excellent draft, excellent offseason. Looks like OBJ is downgraded to questionable for this game, which I don't really think it matters anyway because I like Jarvis Landry. I like Donovan Peoples-Jones, Rashad Higgins, Austin Hooper, y'all's tight end. I mean, there's some guys on your team that I like. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if Anthony Schwartz playing. I don't even know if y'all really play him. But honestly, that Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb 1-2 punch combination right there is going to be great for your running game. So can the Texans be able to stop the run? That's going to be the question coming into this game. Can the Texans stop the run? If you want to come in, DF Sports, let me know. I'll spit you the link, bro. Let me know. I don't hate the Browns. I don't at all. In fact, y'all are the least team that I hate because I actually like the fact the NFL for years has been screwing the Browns. They've been screwing the Raiders, and they've been screwing the Texans to a certain degree, more so in the early 2000s, being the punching bag of the NFL, allowing the referees to make bogus calls and allowing players to high-five the referees, all at the expense of the same old Browns, the same old Raiders, the same old Texans, the same old Bengals. And it's nice to see that Cleveland is finally turning things around because, those fans have been depressed since they've arrived back with only one playoff appearance, well, minus last year, and 2-3 playoffs regular season, winning seasons. It's nice to hear that there's the team that the NFL loves to screw over and mess with is now finally allowing Cleveland to build. Is finally, they brought the coaching staff in, and their owner sort of looks like taking a step back. Jimmy Haslam, doesn't like he's meddling really much, and it looks like the Browns are on the up and coming. I'll send you the link. The only thing I would say for the Cleveland Browns is you guys need to get a damn logo on your helmet. That's the only thing I hate. You need to put a dog or something on there because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. That orange stain helmet is just not cutting it anymore. I mean, it needs something cool, man, like a dog or something on there, a dog chewing a bone or something. I don't know, like something cool, man. Like just something like, man, that's cool. I would love to put that helmet on, or get a jersey and put the dog, from Tom and Jerry on there, but like a Butch dog, like something really cool, man. As far as the Texans logos are concerned, we got a shitty knockoff for the Texas Longhorns. I hate our team colors. The only ones that I do like is the only colors I do like is what is it, the Color Rush jerseys, but we only wear those every Thursday. So we'll be wearing our Color Rush jerseys next Thursday against the Panthers. That's something to look forward to. Those should be our permanent jerseys. I don't want to wear ketchup jerseys. I don't want to wear the blue ones. I don't like the blue ones. Is that UDF? Okay, cool. I'll let you on. And we got a Browns fan coming in. Hey, DF. What's going on, man?
Been forever.
Oh, man, just same old, same old. I remember when you told me you had COVID, and, I was thinking, I was an anti-masker guy, thought it was a hoax, and then I fucking got the shit last week, so it's no joke, man.
Yeah, I've had it 2 or at least 3 times now. And because I got sick, let's see, it was around, I want to say New Year's last year, maybe 2 years ago now, right before everything kicked off and people started learning about it. And then Christmas this past year, I had it real bad. And that was the worst. And then I got really sick again. And I know for sure I had it this time because my coworker tested positive and he was the only one I was around. So I know I've at least had it probably twice now. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's something that you need to be deathly afraid of, but it's definitely should be taken seriously. Yeah.
All right, hey, Double T, man, I'll just add you in next year on the picks, man, because my tournament thing won't allow any more entries on there. I try to type your name in, so I'll just enter your picks in next year, man. Okay, Cattle Dog, is that you, Cattle Dog? I don't know. That might be Cattle. He's an Arizona Cardinals fan, but no. What was I going to say? What did you think about my Saints in Green Bay? Oh, Saints dominated. So before I ask you any Browns questions, what do you think of Aaron Rodgers getting dominated the way he did?
You know what? And this might be the conspiracy side of me. I almost wonder if this is on purpose. I think this could be a trend because it seems like Aaron has been, he's one of these guys who's always very personal about stuff. He's the kind of guy you screw him over once and he'll be mad at you for the rest of his life. So, call me crazy, but I almost wouldn't be surprised if this is a trend. And I'm upset because I took Devontae Adams in one of my fantasy teams, and it looks like I'm going to get screwed all year. So
yeah. What do you think about Aaron Rodgers? You think he's done in Green Bay? If so, where do you think he's going?
Oh, I definitely think he's done in Green Bay. I think the writing's been on the wall for a while now. I think even almost before Jordan Love. I think that was just the stamp of the end. As far as where I think he's going, that's an interesting question because the easy answer would be Denver, because of the weapons they have and stuff. But I tell you what, before the 49ers took Trey Lance, man, I would have loved to seen Aaron Rodgers end up on the 49ers. I think that would have just been a great story coming back to his hometown. I don't know. I'd probably still say Denver just because I think that's most likely. But yeah, I really don't know. But I do think he is done, though, in Green Bay.
You do? Hey, yep. Catalog, is that you? Okay.
Nope.
I have it's not personal, bro, but you know how these trolls are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think he said he had static or something like that. That may be him. Oh, but anyway, so the Browns, the Texans game this week. Obviously, you guys are 11.5 point favorite. Let me ask you a question. Do you think the Browns deserve to be 11.5 point favorite?
I think that's a really big spread. That's almost a college level spread.
Yes.
I would say, I would understand if it was like maybe like 6.5, 7. I think that's still even pushing it a little, but
Yeah.
11's a really big spread. But it's like I told you in the comments. I think the Browns. I guess you could say I'm hoping, and I am a Browns fan for your viewers here.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to come out just on fire. I mean, I've seen so many players already just like, let's get to Sunday. I need to get this taste out of my mouth. So I don't think it's necessarily a diss on the Texans. I think it's just more of the Browns went into Arrowhead Stadium last week and they had the Chiefs on the ropes and they gave it up with 3 turnovers. Defensively, a lot of struggles. I just think there's going to be a lot more focus this week. And again, I said 37-13. I really feel like the Texans are going to put up points, but I think the Browns defense in particular, I think you're going to see a major change as far as the scheme goes. Because your Texans, man, Mark Ingram, that's what y'all did. Even though it's 3-4 yards per carry, we've seen him when he was in Baltimore, and he's familiar with this Cleveland team. So I think the Browns I think they're going to have a little bit of a different game plan. We run a 2 linebacker set, 3 safety set.
Okay.
I think you're going to see more 3 linebackers. I think Sione Taki will probably get in there more because he is the run stuffer at linebacker. So I feel good about the game. It's just my thing is we got to get back on track. And it doesn't matter that it's the Texans. It doesn't matter if it's the Ravens. We just got to get out of that mentality against the Chiefs and, the disappointing loss. We got to get back on track.
Okay, so what are the Browns going to do in this game? Because obviously I think you guys are going to do clock management against us like last year where it comes down to time of possession, 8, 9-minute, 10-minute drives. In a game like this, I think I could see the Browns doing that. Obviously 37-13, I kind of sense you might be going air assault a little bit more. But I think you guys are going to stick with the run. I think you're going to stick with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb running the ball more. And then I think you'll revert to the pass when you need to open up the lane. But that's why I say I see this game being a lot closer because of that, because I think Browns will take 8, 9 minutes in an attempt to score a touchdown and then go from there. And that's what happened in the last 2 or 3 games actually we played against each other. It came down to like a slow-paced time management situation. So what do you think do you think the Browns are going to stick with the run at the beginning, or what do you think the Browns are going to do this time?
Yeah, I think the Browns will stick to the run, mostly just because, if anything you learned from that Chiefs game is it doesn't matter who we play, we're going to run our offense. And our offense is a run first, and then from there, off of the, run game, you play action, you open up the pass game. So I'm expecting us to come out early, run the football. Okay. But I'm hoping, and this is just me personally, and this is why I have the score as I do, I'm hoping towards, getting closer to halftime and towards the end of this game, I hope we open up the pass game because I want to see Baker get more comfortable in the pocket passing, because when OBJ comes back and, you asked about that, he's out for this game. That's official. Okay. We're going to need Baker to be comfortable passing, which he is, and he's getting better at that. But I think this game in particular, if the Browns get up early, you run your offense, the Texans are going to come up to stop the run. That's going to open things up because that's just how football works. That's just scheme.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we do pass more. We'll see, but it's going to be interesting.
So is there anybody on the Texans defense you'd be concerned about or not really?
I'll tell you what, one guy it's almost interesting because there are so many ex-Browns players on the Texans is Terence Mitchell coming back. Yeah. I could see him having a pretty good game. So
yeah, we're especially running Vernon Hargreaves, and we'll have Terence Mitchell on the corners.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's
sports.
Yeah.
I'm here in Arizona. Oh. And 2 of your receivers are constantly being talked about on the radio here as joining the Arizona Cardinals.
And who's that?
Well, first it was Landry. They were all over that, like he was coming to the desert. And then the last 9 to 10 months, it's been OBJ is coming to Arizona because he rehabbed here. He was hanging out with that other Christian Kirk.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so speculation obviously and stuff that, but they say, well, he's down there hanging out with Kirk and doing all this. And they talk about him on the radio all the time, especially OBJ.
How many years
man, I'll tell you what.
Go ahead.
OBJ's got 2 years left on his contract. But I'll tell you what, when it comes to those two guys, man, the reality is it's going to be hard to pay both of them. I can't see the Browns getting rid of both. I think they'll keep one around. Depending on how good of a year OBJ has, it could be him. If OBJ doesn't have a good year and he kind of struggles like he has in Cleveland, I think Landry will stick around. Obviously, would love to keep them both. But as far as the Cardinals, that would be interesting because, Kyler and Baker are still very much friends. And, if Kyler was asking Baker, hey, we can get this guy, should we make a run at him, whether if it be Beckham or Landry, I think Baker would obviously want to keep those guys around. But if they can, I think he'd be all on board as far as, hey, this guy is a legit talent. Do I think Arizona is going to trade for OBJ? If there's a trade, it's not going to be till the end of the year. So I don't think you should get your hopes up there. Landry, I don't see them trading Landry just because he's such a big part of the team. He's got a way bigger role than OBJ does. And a lot of people don't realize that, but he does. So as far as that, I would just say that's probably more media speculation because with those two guys, their stories coming out all the time. Last year was OBJ to Minnesota was the story, and that never happened.
OBJ to Tampa Bay. That was also reading that Tom Brady was going to recruit him.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, we'll see.
Do you think OBJ, and this is my opinion, but I think after he tore his ACL, he's just not, or I don't know if he's not still producing or if he's just been injured and it's just pure luck. I just feel like the Browns can still play better without him. I don't even really think whether he's there or not.
This is the crazy thing, man, because I tell you, I've flip-flopped a lot on this. And, if somebody wants to call me out saying you're flip-flopping, hey, I am. I'm sorry. I think the issues with OBJ and Baker are more specific towards Baker's not a vet quarterback. It's not like he's Tom Brady where you can point to him and say, hey, shut up. Do what we want you to do. Baker he doesn't have that yet. And he's friends with him. You don't want to be arguing with your friends. It's just what it is. But as far as are they better without him, I used to be saying, yeah, absolutely. And the numbers do back that up. And that was where I kind of got my point. I think now, and especially after Sunday, I think we need another passing threat like OBJ. I'm not saying it has to be specifically OBJ, but we need somebody like him to add to the outside. So, I mean, are they better without him?
Run down your receivers real quick. What do you think of Rashad Higgins?
Oh, I love Hollywood Higgins. I think the problem with him is, and this is kind of the thing with some of these other guys, and this is why we cut Carol Hodge. He's a guy who's possession receiver. He's not somebody who's got elite speed or elite route running, but he catches everything. So, I mean, he didn't play at all Sunday, which was surprising to me and other Browns fans. I like him. I don't think he's great, but I think for your fourth or third receiver, well, fourth or fifth, I guess, I'd say he's pretty good. I like him.
And what about Donovan Peoples-Jones? You like him?
Oh, I absolutely love DPJ. I could not be any higher on DPJ. When he was drafted out of Michigan, obviously, I'm an Ohio State fan. I go to Ohio State. The only player that Michigan's had in the last, a long time that I was afraid of, and I guess you could say Jabril Peppers before him, was Donovan Peoples-Jones because he just made plays all the time. He's a 5-star coming out of high school, but he went to Michigan, and they just did not know how to use him. So, I mean, he's coming to the Browns. He had a really good first year. I expected him to come on sooner. But this offseason, if you look up DPJ, there's 100 articles about how great of an offseason he had. And you didn't see anything in the Chiefs game. He did have one really good catch to get a first down. But I think throughout the season and maybe even Sunday, the Browns would try to get him more involved. So I love DPJ. He's probably, I love Beckham and Landry, but outside of them two, he's one of my favorite players on the Browns.
Well, yeah, it's just the reason why I'm saying this because I know Jarvis Landry, obviously, the Texans are going to be looking for him because I know that he's a great deep threat receiver. Plus, also, you could put him in the slot position. He's also really good in the slot position as well. So I know they're probably going to put Terence Mitchell on him. That's probably going to be the matchup I want to see is Landry and Mitchell. One ex-Brown player against one current, and see how that matchup works. But I'm wondering what are other options the Browns like. What about at tight end? Do you like Austin Hooper over David Njoku?
Njoku?
Yeah.
Well, when we signed Hooper, we signed him to a $10 million per year contract, 4 years, $40 million, I think it was. I loved it at first because, if you remember going back to Oklahoma, Baker had Mark Andrews, and that was a big part of Baker's success. I thought Hooper was going to be that. So far, I've been very disappointed in Hooper. And as far as Njoku, I have loved what I've seen the last 2 years. Njoku has his injuries. That's his problem. And, you can't really do a whole lot about that. But from a play standpoint, I think Njoku has greatly improved. And I would personally, I'd have Njoku starting over Hooper. I would.
Okay. Because that's what I was actually thinking the same thing. As far as your defense is concerned, we all run a 4-3, right?
We run, it's complicated. We're supposed to run a 4-2-5. But we have a lot of injuries, so that's kind of hurt that. We tried to run a 4-2-5 against the Chiefs, and it was a disaster. Yeah. And it's like I told you earlier, I think we're going to run a traditional 4-3, have a lot of guys man on man. So we'll see with that.
See, I like that lineup you guys got on defense. Your defensive line, like Malik Jackson. You got Javania Clowney, who played for us. Coach Dante knows about that. He's a Texans fan. You also got what's his name? Malik
Myles Garrett.
Malik McDowell.
Oh, McDowell.
Yeah, McDowell. And then you got, of course, Myles Garrett. Dude, that is a lethal, solid defensive line. Like, I would almost put that up there with what the Dolphins had when they went out and spent on that expensive defense and brought in Ndamukong Suh. Like, I would almost compare your defensive line to that, dude. Like, you guys really put a lot of work on your defense, man. And I think that stretch four right there is going to be lethal. You still got Denzel Ward. You still got Ronnie Harrison Jr. at your strong safety. I mean, you got Greedy Williams. Is he playing?
Greedy played, I think it was 6 snaps in the last game. He's still dealing with that shoulder. Okay. Yeah.
But that defense y'all got is lethal, bro. As far as our defense is concerned, we run a 4-3. Whitney Merciless, Malik Collins, DeMarcus Walker, and we got Jordan Kipkins. And then, of course, we still got our veteran in Zach Cunningham, who's still a beast. And, but like I said, the only thing that scares me about this game is can we be able to stop the run? Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, being able to run the ball on us. And, of course, are we going to be able to respond to the deep threat and receiving? Because for years, Texans have had weaknesses in the secondary, and that's going to be the issue because I know Baker Mayfield likes to roll out, time in the pocket. He can throw that dart down the field and get guys open. And I know Texans secondary is still not exactly where it needs to be. Our defensive line, I think, is okay. It's just our secondary coverage is going to be the question. But the biggest question, again, is are we going to be able to stop the run? That's going to be our question.
If you look at last week against Jacksonville, the first half, if you just actually looked at it, we really was in trouble the whole first half because they had penalties when they did run the football. We was able to adjust in the second half, in the middle of the second quarter. So we really didn't. I want to see this defense, this secondary guard up the whole game because really They got whatever they want when they did when it was clean, when everything was perfect, when they didn't have a penalty. That first half, start out the beginning of the game, they got everything they wanted. It's just they had about four drop passes. Chenault dropped by two drop passes. They had 6 penalties in the first half. They had two and outs, and then that's when we start to get comfortable on offense, and that's when Lovie Smith started mixing up some coverages to stop Trevor Lawrence. But yeah, I agree with you, man. We got to get better. That secondary got to get better.
Yeah. So, hey, DF Sports, let me ask you this, man. The Browns are up 22-10 at halftime against the Chiefs in a game that looked like it should have been. I was shocked. I figured the Browns would go in and win. But I didn't think they would dominate Kansas City the way they did. What do you think that resulted in Cleveland having such a terrible second half in terms of putting points on the board? What do you think was the issue in that game?
Well, I mean, the Browns came into KC and they said, we don't care who you are. We're going to run our offense. And they did that. And you know what? I tell you what, I was impressed with the balls that Kevin Stefanski had because he didn't care who it was. He said, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And I tell you what, Baker, he gets a lot of criticism. And, people look at the box stats. I saw Marcellus Wiley, I believe, on FS1 was talking about, what did Baker do to help his team win? Well, I don't know. He only completed 21 of 28, and then you look at those passes that he made. They were all in tight windows. Like, it's not like he had guys running wide open other than Schwartz a couple of times. But, as far as your question goes, I think the reason why you saw the Browns offense come out in the first half and basically essentially do whatever they wanted.
Yes.
And then in the second half,
Yes.
I think it was a bunch of different things. I think, number one, they started to panic a little bit because they saw Casey coming back. So it was almost like you had them on your tail. And they didn't run the ball as much in the second half. My thing was I wanted to see Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb get close to the same amount of carries. I forget. I could pull it up, but I know Kareem had, I want to say, like 6 less carries than Chubb. That's unacceptable. That was like 93 degree heat. They needed to keep rotating them back. So I think that was a part of it as far as the second half, and they kind of got away from the game plan. And then number two, I mean, them turnovers. I mean, Chubb, I'll never blame Nick Chubb for anything. I absolutely love him. I'm so happy to have him on my team. He's an incredible player, even better person, puts his head down and works. I love guys like that because those are the guys who lead by example. But that fumble, man, that was such a critical point in that game. And credit to, I think it was Thornhill, the safety, put his head right on the ball. Great play. But that was a critical moment. And then Jamie Gillen, I mean, I get it. These punters watch Pat McAfee. I love Pat McAfee. I loved what he did as a punter. But you're not as athletic. I know you're strong. You got muscles. You got long hair. Who cares? Punt the football, bro. You had like 10 yards. You could have ran out. I don't know what you're doing. So that was a critical moment.
Well, to be fair, a lot of people say that fumble that Nick Chubb had is negated because the Browns scored that next drive anyway and was back up 20.
That's true. Yeah.
So that does kind of negate it a little bit, don't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think that the punt fumble is the biggest. And as far as the last one, that Baker interception, it's so easy to go back to that narrative of, he couldn't get the job done, whatever. But if you look at that play, go back and put it in slow-mo, whatever you want to do. Go back and look at that play. Baker, first of all, his left tackle is out. He's got Chris Hubbard starting at left tackle. Hubbard is a right guard, right tackle, swing type player. Okay. That's like his first snaps at left tackle. And Baker, he got pressure. He stepped up into the pocket, number one, which is good because he used to never do that. And that's one thing we criticized him on. So he steps up. He's looking, can't see anything, feels pressure coming, slides out to the left. He doesn't see whoever it was that ended up tripping him up. He's trying to throw it out of bounds. And, if you look at his arm, he was kind of like down here trying to throw it up, and he just couldn't get enough air. So, yeah, could you say he should have just taken the sack? Sure. Could you say he should have thrown it out earlier? Sure. But you know what? I'm not saying he's not to blame, but I get it. He's trying to make a play. It was 1st and 10. He's trying to just get the ball out of bounds. It happens. I don't get how people want to instantly blame Baker for that. I just don't see it.
Oh, Coach Dante, you want to add anything to it? What do you?
Yeah, man. Like I say, I understand about that game. Y'all should have beat them in the AFC Championship. I believe that was the game before the AFC Championship. Y'all should have beat them. That quarterback ran that football. I forgot the one that played for the Chiefs, the backup quarterback. That was a heartbreaker because if y'all stop them, y'all do get the ball back at that point of time. But I mean, what you think of how this defense played against Kansas City, and what better things you think you guys need to correct coming into Sunday playing against the Texans?
Well, here's the thing, and this is kind of my problem, and I'm just going to say it because I think it goes with both of my teams. Steven, I know you're a big college football guy too.
Yeah.
But when you look at Ohio State's defense and you look at the Browns' defense, it's the same problems. You got the guys. It's not that you don't have the players. Your scheme that you're trying to fit these players into sucks. I'm sorry. That's just the hard truth. As far as the Chiefs and the Browns defense their game plan was, we're going to keep everything in front of you and we're going to try to tackle you after that. We're going to give you these receptions, but we're going to try to attack you from there. That's stupid. That was idiotic.
Defense sort of ordeal.
Yeah. Well, defense, and another thing, I told you we were playing a 3-2-5. But the problem there is if you're going to play 3-2-5, you have to have a safety in the box. We didn't do that. We had 3 safeties playing 25 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, 15 yards off the line of scrimmage.
It was terrible. So
like Greg Williams did, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I tell you what, when the Browns were in crunch time in the fourth quarter, we had to get a stop. Guess what? We played man. We let Denzel Ward go one-on-one with Tyreek Hill, and the guys got home. We got the sack. Denzel went, stride for stride with Tyreek, and he ended up getting a pass breakup. So, I mean, Joe Woods didn't have his balls Sunday, apparently. And I hope he finds them, because if he thinks this defense is this scheme we're going to run the entire year, we're going to have to outscore teams 40 points every game. Tyrod Taylor can hit a wide open tight end under the middle, on a comeback. Any quarterback can in the NFL. So it's embarrassing. I'm just hoping that it's a first game. You're going against one of the best offenses type of deal, and I'm hoping that this defensive scheme gets switched up.
Okay, so let me ask you this off topic, because I know it's AFC North still. What is a bigger surprise to you? Ravens 0-1, Steelers, or Bengals 1-0? Is there any surprise? Are you not surprised? I mean, the Steelers going into Buffalo and basically kicking them right in the balls. A team that was supposed to be argumentatively in the Super Bowl talk, and they went into Buffalo and won with confidence, with nothing but defense. And Roethlisberger didn't have a good game either, and they came in and dominated that early 2000s Steelers defense. Just came in and just dominated that game, and then you had the Bengals going in and beating the Vikings. Now that's a little 50-50 there. But then to see
that wasn't a surprise.
Get knocked out on Monday Night Football, and Lamar Jackson, the first time I've ever seen him putting on his Academy of Winning Awards fake injury pose to make it look like that's the reason why he fumbled. We all know it was his fault. 2 fumbles in that game and costed the Ravens. So I guess my question is, what team do you think in the AFC North is going to surprise you the most? That's going to be like your biggest rival heading into the year.
Well, I mean, as far as surprises from Sunday, I'm gonna surprise you here. I wasn't surprised about the Ravens. I was surprised about the Bengals. The Ravens, I knew you lose their run game. That's the focus of their offense. When you lose 3 of your running backs, everybody knows it's Lamar. I mean, I'm not saying you're going to be able to stop him, but you're going to be able to limit him somewhat. The Bengals surprised me because I thought they weren't going to be this good yet. I thought this was more a mid-season type performance to come. But week 1, they were ready. And Jamar Chase, I guess, apparently tricked us all with his drops in the preseason, because he sure figured out how to catch it in the game Sunday. So as far as our competitors, I think I think the Bengals will be tough, like they were last year with us. I think it's the Steelers, really. I'm moving the Ravens down to 3. I just think they're going to have a down year.
And especially they got to go to or they host the Chiefs, and I know they own the Chiefs during the regular season, but I have a funny feeling that may change the tide on Sunday Night Football. I think the Chiefs may go in and get that win. But
I think the Chiefs blow out the
0-3.
Ravens.
Yeah,
I think the
have
Chiefs
a
blow
funny
out the
feeling.
Ravens.
But dude, I think that Battle of Ohio between you and the Browns, I think it's not going to be like one of those games where it's an 0-8 team meets an 0-9 in the past. In the first game, someone's getting their first win. This time, I think by the time you guys play, y'all are probably both going to be undefeated, or in the win column, I mean.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I think the Bengals this year are going to be one of those teams. They're going to give everybody trouble. They're going to be in every game. It might not show up on the win-loss record maybe as much as they would hope it to be in the win column, but they're going to give teams trouble. So, I mean, when you talk about the Browns versus the Bengals, Battle of Ohio,
yeah,
I think you're in what you're going to see from last year. Just very good, tight games. Obviously, I think the Browns are going to pull them off. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we'll drop a game to the Bengals. I hope not. But, man, if they continue to improve. And I tell you what, my biggest thing is that offensive line. And they held up pretty decently on Sunday. I was kind of surprised, but we'll see. I think, it could be a week 1 overreaction thing with the Bengals, but who knows?
Okay, so Robert Smith wants to know. I think he's a Steelers fan, by the way. So who do you think's better at quarterback, Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson?
This is not even close. This is not even close.
Okay,
I'm gonna go with Deshaun. I'm gonna go with Deshaun. That's easy. I think he's a better quarterback. He's a better quarterback. He's a better passer of the football. He's a great leader in the locker room. I haven't heard anything about him in the locker room besides, the allegations he's going through. He's clutch. He makes the team better. You seen what he did last year. It's just we had a bad defense last year. We were 29th in the league, and we're not going to win games being 29th in the league. Deshaun Watson did what he had to do. Now, athletically, you can say Lamar Jackson. Athletic-wise, speed-wise, you can say that. But far as being a pure quarterback, speed, running the football, and making his teammates better, Deshaun Watson is definitely the better quarterback.
I agree.
I completely agree with everything you said. And I'll go as far as to say this. If the Ravens had Deshaun Watson last year, they're winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Let me ask you guys this. What is your opinion on Dak Prescott? Great numbers, but can't win in the clutch. Dak is becoming the Archie Manning of our time.
I just think with Dak, I think he's a good quarterback. I tell you what, when he first was coming in, especially more second, third year with Dak, I had my doubts. I thought he was more of a Derek Carr style quarterback where he's good, but he's limited. I think Dak is legit. I just think the Cowboys have not helped him at all defensively. And I think that's step one.
I agree.
Hey, you hit the nail right on the head. I was just going to say the same thing. I think Dak is a top 10 quarterback in this league, but the problem is that defense is not stopping anybody. They have not got better on the defensive side of the football, and that's why everybody's saying, hey, he's putting up garbage time stats because his team is always down every single game. So, I mean, like I say, I believe he's a top 10 quarterback. I believe he's legit, but you haven't gave no help to him on the defensive side of the football. Marcus Lawrence is hurt. Michael Gallup is hurt for about 5 weeks. That's going to hurt. Ezekiel Elliott doesn't seem to look right at all because they're not giving him the football as much. Everything is playing through Dak Prescott. So the defense has not gotten better. So I believe that. I agree with this, man. I believe Dak Prescott is a legit quarterback.
DF Sports. Rick wants to know from Facebook, how many teams from the AFC North make the playoffs this year?
Oh, well.
So early to ask, Rick.
I would have said 3, but I tell you what, after what I've seen so far, I don't think the Ravens are making the playoffs. I don't. And as far as the Steelers, I think the Bengals will be competitive for one of them last wild card spots, but ask me that later on the Bengals. We'll see. As far as the Steelers, I don't know because no, not all of them will. But with the Steelers, it's the Big Ben question. He did not look good. And can they ride that defense all the way? I don't think so. So I don't
the
know.
Browns get in easily, but the other
Yeah.
question is going to be the other three.
Mhm.
Do y'all think I still think the Ravens can rebound, but if they start off 0-2 against the
I
Chiefs, that's
got
going to be a little. Huh?
even though if they do get beat by the Chiefs, I got confidence in the Ravens better than I do have the Steelers. I believe the Ravens is going to be right there. I'm going to say two. I'm going to say the Browns are winning the division. The way they look against Kansas City, that doesn't fool me. I believe they're gonna clean things up. I still say the Browns and the Ravens are gonna make the playoffs. I still think it's two teams. I'm not quite sold on Pittsburgh. Yeah, I think that was more Buffalo Bills not showing up to play football, and Josh Allen fumbled the ball twice. He fumbled the ball twice, and that was the turning points of the game. But I still got the Browns and Ravens making the playoffs.
I
I'm gonna
still
say two.
think the Steelers are a little bit of fool's gold like last year, where they come out, they look good, everybody
Yeah.
says, "Oh, they're undefeated," and then they
Yeah.
fall apart. I think it's going to be the same thing, but I think it happens a little bit earlier this year.
Okay.
So DS Sports, do you see Polston or Prodigal Hill on his channel when we did our playoff predictions? He's got Browns and Rams in the Super Bowl, and that was his pre-prediction.
Oh, wow.
He's got Browns winning. He's a Cowboys fan. He said that the Browns are fully loaded on defense and that they have all the weapons on offense to get it done. How far did you pick the Browns to go before the season started, and where do you stand now with them?
Well, before the season started, I said, what is it, 17 games now?
Yeah.
I think I said 14-3. And I feel good about that after the Chiefs game, just because that was a good measuring stick. How competitive are you going to be? As far as how far I've got the Browns going, I think maybe it's just because being a Browns fan, you kind of lessen your expectations naturally. But I think the Browns make the AFC Championship. I'll say that. I'm not going to say Super Bowl yet, but I'm going to say I hate saying for sure, but I think we're going to make the AFC Championship. And I think we're better than the Bills this year. I think people were saying, oh, it's the Browns or Bills. Who's better? I think if we played the Bills next week, I think the Browns win pretty convincingly.
Nice. So, I mean, I guess the Browns loss last week was more of a moral loss.
Well, it wasn't – nobody expected us. Well, I say nobody, but a lot of people, the majority said the Browns lose that game. The NFL did a poll, I want to say on their Instagram page, and it was like 20% Browns win, 70% or whatever, 80% the Chiefs win. So it's not like people thought the Browns were going to win. And I didn't either, and I took a lot of heat for saying that. I just wanted to see how competitive are you going to be. And at the end of the day, we won. We just beat ourselves. And I don't want to go with moral victories, but I don't see how you can be disappointed, especially offensively. Defensively, I'm with you there all day. But offensively, I think we're one of the best offenses in the league.
Yeah. And that's without OBJ in the lineup.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just imagine if he comes in.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rick says, who do you guys got winning the AFC South this year? How many teams get in? I think it's just going to be one team. I think it's
one. It's always been. It's the only time it's been two. It's been the Colts and the Texans, and then the Texans was hurt that year when we lost to the Colts. The Texans was hurt all across the board because we lost Demaryius Thomas and everybody, and DeAndre Hopkins. Watt was hurt. They was hurt in the playoffs as well. But I think it's just going to be one. Whoever wins the division, just flat out making it. That's it. Just one.
Yeah, I got Titans winning that division still. But the good news is you don't even have to win 10 games to win our division. You can probably go 9-8, maybe even 8-9, and win that division because the Colts and the Jaguars think are going to continue to fall. I think the Texans could hover around 500, may get some good division wins, but I think later on we'll probably start, losing more games as it goes down the line. But I think the Titans can win that division with eight or 9 wins easily. They don't have to win 12. They don't have to win 13 games.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Titans.
I don't believe they have to win.
Okay, what teams do you think is going to be the Cleveland's biggest threat to reach the Super Bowl? Obviously, Kansas City's one. Is there anybody else in the AFC?
Well, I would have said Buffalo, and I think there's still time maybe for them to get right. Well, there is time. There's 16 games left, but um, I don't know, man, with Buffalo. I just think they've got some problems. I think maybe it's almost like Buffalo had a 2019 Browns situation where they believed their own hype. They got too high on themselves. And then they just did not look good against the Steelers. So I guess I'll still stick with Buffalo. Just we'll wait and see on them.
Okay.
As far as other teams in the AFC, I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think they looked really good. I like Justin Herbert. A lot of people hated him before. A lot of people hated him before the draft, and I always was a big Herbert guy. I just think, if he can continue to take the next step, they're going to be very competitive. So I look for the Chargers to do good things. They're in a tough division, but
what teams do y'all think are overrated in y'all's opinion?
First, like I said, I agree with him. I had the Titans until I saw the way they looked against Arizona. That defense is non-existent. That defense is not good for Tennessee. That secondary is bad. I know getting Bud Dupree should help the defensive line, but it didn't. It was non-existent against Kyler Murray in the Arizona Cardinals, which by the way, who plays in the toughest division in football, the NFC West. I had them, but I'm gonna stick with Buffalo. I believe they're a threat in the AFC, even though they did not look good against the Steelers. And the reason why I don't count out the Steelers out of a playoff picture because you have Mike Tomlin, you have a great coach that's gonna make his team, gonna motivate his team, and have his team coming out there to play every single week. So I mean, like I said, I still got Buffalo, man. I still have faith in Buffalo. I think they're the biggest threat to Cleveland. I had Tennessee, but what I seen Sunday in that defense, I'm off that bandwagon for Tennessee. I'm off of that.
yeah, as far as who's most overrated,
Yeah.
I'd probably say Tennessee right now, just because people were talking about them as AFC Championship team, and I see them making the playoffs, as we said. I just don't see them being this elite of the elite team that's going to make it to the Super Bowl. As far as the NFC side of things, and I saw somebody you had pulled up said the 49ers are overrated. I think the 49ers, once Trey Lance gets in there, watch out, because I think the Niners are going to be elite. As far as the NFC, I'd say Minnesota. I think Minnesota's overrated. I thought they were going to be a lot better than they were. And they just didn't.
Well, DF, you do got a Steelers fan in here. He's saying Tom is first ballot Hall of Famer. Mike Tomlin's putting up Chuck Nolan, Paul Brown numbers. Tom Brady's a wussy. He played in the wussy division all these years in New England.
I'll say this about Tomlin. Obviously I have a lot of respect for Tomlin and all. Yeah. But my thing is, you had three of the best players in the NFL on their prime, and you won how many Super Bowls? You had Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and Big Ben all in their prime. And that's not like any hate or nothing. I'm just saying, I think Mike Tomlin was handed a really good team, and I think he's been able to continue that. So that's not a bad thing against him. I just think if you gave him a team that sucked and had to rebuild, I don't know. That's my only question.
Never had a losing season.
Well, this might be your first. Who knows?
Hey, what was that question again? Who's overrated and underrated?
Overrated NFL team you think this year? Like just overhyped. I'm gonna go with Tennessee. I'm gonna go with Tennessee. I'm going to go with Tennessee because what I saw last weekend, their defense is not good. But also, I'm going to go with his take. The Minnesota Vikings, something is never right with that team. Yes, they're frauds. Minnesota are frauds to me. They're not a good football team. Their defense has regressed. Jamar Chase just had a field day all over this defense. And like I said, I just can't trust Minnesota. I got Green Bay winning that division because Minnesota doesn't show up at times, and like I say, they show time and time again. I'm gonna take Minnesota, but the Titans is overrated, very overrated as well. All right, so we'll do a score prediction before we get out of here. You said you got the Browns 37-13.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with 37-13 again. I just think the Browns are going to play their offense.
Okay.
Try to get up early. I hope we play aggressive on defense. I want to see a completely different scheme. Well, maybe not completely different, but you got to change. You can't have this same garbage soft zone defense again. And I agree with you. I think from there on, I think the Browns get up early, get your run game going, and then they start opening things up in the pass game. So I do think y'all will be competitive. I just think right now the Browns are. I think in a lot of ways they just got so much. It's just hard to contend with a team that just can hit you from so many different ways.
All right, Dante, what do you got? Predict your score.
You know what? I agree with it. I think the Texans going to be competitive. So, I got the Cleveland Browns winning this game, 33-20. I think it's going to be very much closer. I love what Tim Kelly doing with this offense. For the Houston Texans, putting Tyrod Taylor in a lot of positions where he can succeed. I like the way he used those running backs. What if they're blocking? What if they're running a route or something? I love the way Tim Kelly doing these running backs. I love the way he rotates them. Mark Ingram seems happy out there. But like I say, I believe the Browns are too strong. They're too high, overpowered. They got better. They're just better across the board. I believe the Browns just better than the Houston Texans. But I got 33-20 Browns.
Yeah, I got Browns 34-27, all hate weekend aside. For hate week, I have reversed that score. If you ask me, just like an outside perspective, I think Browns win this game. This would be a good comeback. I think Tyrod Taylor has a better game than expected, but I still think we fall short. I think the Browns get this win, a much needed win, and we have a short week against the Panthers that following week against Sam Darnold. So we'll be
Hey, can I ask y'all a question? What do you guys think about Nico Collins?
Who wants to go first?
I go first. I think he's okay. I think he's okay. The couple of balls that he did drop last week, it wasn't his fault. It was either high overthrown. I think Nico Collins is gonna be good. He did have one big catch on a little stick route. For a big first down. I'm very high on Nick Collins. On Nico Collins. I think he's gonna be good. This is his first game, but I think he's gonna be good. Couple of balls he should have caught. It was just too high. Tyrod Taylor just overthrew him. One for a first down at the start of the game. One almost got picked off at the beginning of the game. The first throw he had almost got took into the house. But I think Nico Collins is gonna be straight. I think he's gonna be straight.
The reason I ask, I'll just jump in here real quick, is because I really liked him in the draft process. So I was pretty happy for you guys when you got him because I think he could be pretty good.
And especially
he's more. You can tell the way he played.
And he's going to be
the
playing
way
with
he played. He played as a jump ball receiver. He's a jump ball receiver. You can tell he's an end zone threat. He's an end zone threat. I can tell the way he plays. So I like Nico Collins. I think he's going to be good.
All right, so one last question, and then I guess we'll wrap it up because I don't want to just keep talking forever unless there's other things I want to talk about. But if not, I'll just go to the last part. What other than your game, if you could take your game off the slate, what's the game that you're looking forward to the most this week? At all? I don't know if you guys know the whole schedule.
No, yeah. Can you run down?
Okay, all right. Let me go ahead and run the games down. All right. Here are the games. Wait, damn it. Gotta turn my
Danny
book.
Dimes almost.
Of course, you got the Giants, Redskins tonight. Who do you guys got in that game? Just curious.
I got Washington.
Me too.
I got the football team. I got a football team. All right,
team. And then the games for this week. The first one we got Jets and the Patriots. Who do y'all got in that game? Just curious.
Do you need to ask?
I got Patriots.
Patriots.
I got Patriots.
All right, and then you got, of course, who are the Bengals play? Oh, the Bengals and Bears. Who do y'all got in that one? I picked the Bears for the upset.
I had the Bears. I got the Bears. I got the Bears.
What about you, DF? Who do you got? Bengals, Bears.
Yeah, I got the Bears.
I'm gonna take the Bears just because I think their defense is way better than who'd they played last week, Minnesota. So I think this offensive explosion might not be as good as they think this week.
All right, Browns and Texans. We all picked the Browns for that game. The other games are Rams at Colts. I don't think that's going to be game of the week.
Nope.
You got Bills at the Dolphins.
Got the Rams.
You got the Rams? Yeah, so do I.
I got the Rams. Yeah, I got the Rams.
Then you got Bills at Dolphins.
I got the Bills to win here.
I
I
got the Bills.
think
Bounce back.
yeah, I think the Dolphins are a pretty good team, but I think the Bills win here. I think the Dolphins defensively.
Wins. I got Tua. I got Miami at home upset. I think this is going to be like a low score mid-20 shootout, but I got Dolphins 27-24.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a big win if especially
yeah.
It would be worse for the Bills.
You got the Dolphins over who?
Over the Bills.
Oh, I'm gonna take the Dolphins. Okay, I got the Bills. I think they'll bounce.
All right, what about Niners and Eagles? This is the game everybody's arguing is the game of the week. Jalen Hurd versus Jimmy G.
I got the
What do you guys got in that one?
I got the Eagles 20. I got the Eagles 24-17. 24.
I'm taking the Niners.
It could flip,
I just like
either one of these teams can win. Either one, yeah.
I'm taking the Eagles. I'm taking the Eagles in overtime.
Really? Wow.
Oakland at Pittsburgh or Vegas at Pittsburgh.
Interesting. I got Oakland. I got Vegas. I got Vegas.
I'm gonna pick the Steelers. I don't want to, but I just think the Steelers defense is gonna be just overwhelm the Raiders offense.
Yeah, I got the Steelers too. All right, next one is Saints at the Panthers. Jameis Winston versus Darnold.
Yeah, I got the Saints too.
I got the Saints. Okay, you got Broncos at Jaguars. Upset. I got Jacksonville to beat Denver this week.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going Jacksonville.
Broncos in this game.
I'm taking Denver.
You, Coach Dante?
I got the Broncos.
All right, we're almost done. We got 6 games left. Next one's Vikings at Cardinals.
Cardinals.
I don't trust the Vikings. Cardinals.
All right, here's the one I feel sorry for. Matty Ice and Anna travels to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucks. Anybody pick the See Tom high-fiving the refs against the Cowboys?
Yeah, I did. I saw that on TikTok.
They're like, yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. Looked like a wrestling, like one of those little wrestling factions, you know?
Are you surprised?
Yeah, that's not even.
No. All right, Dallas at Chargers. Despite the Cowboys' injuries, I'm going with Dallas to win in Chargers.
I agree with you. I got the Cowboys.
Y'all got Cowboys? Okay.
Yeah.
Titans at Seattle.
Seahawks.
Oh, I got the Seahawks. That's a tough one, though. I'll take the Seahawks. I got the Seahawks.
I got Seattle as well. Okay, 2 more games. Detroit at Green Bay, and ain't picking the lines. I'm not. I got Green Bay.
Oof, man, both of these teams might suck. Oof.
Golf against Rodgers.
I'm still taking Green Bay, but man, I don't know. I'm telling you, I just think it's almost too good to be true that Aaron Rodgers purposely is sucking, but man, I don't know. Maybe it's just he changed his hairstyle and that's throwing him off. I don't know.
All right, and then last but not least, who do y'all got out of Chiefs and Ravens on Sunday Night Football? That's obviously arguably the game of the week.
Blowout Chiefs.
I
think the Chiefs win by 17.
Damn.
Yeah, I think the Ravens are in for a rough game.
You heard it right, Ravens Red Zone. If you're in the comment section watching,
I got the Chiefs.
I got the Chiefs too. I got them winning by 10.
Yep. Until the Ravens prove they can beat them otherwise, or anybody can beat them otherwise, I'm gonna take the Chiefs. I just think they're better, and you keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket. Basically, he can't beat you in the pocket. He can't throw consistently. So if you keep him in the pocket, you bring blitzes up the middle like the Raiders did. Hey, you can kind of expose him, but you can kind of shut him off a little bit. Just don't let him get out the pocket where he can hurt you at.
Well, did you see the Ravens' offensive line? I mean, not good. Not good. Chris Jones, when Chris Hubbard came in for Jedrick Wills, Chris Jones got moved over to Hubbard's side and just bullied him the entire game. What do you think they're going to do with Chris Jones? They're going to put him on Andrew or whatever his name is, Villanueva, whatever his name is. I got made fun of for mispronouncing it last time. I'm not even going to try. But that's what they're going to do. They're just going to have – I mean, yeah, obviously Lamar's great running, but that Chiefs defense, I'll tell you what, they're fast. They got speed.
So who do your Browns play after this game?
The Bears.
Oh, shit. And y'all know who y'all play after that?
Who do we play after that? Hold on, let me
I
pull
don't
it
know
up.
y'all's schedule, but I mean, if y'all beat us, I mean, remember last year y'all started 0-1, and then I think y'all went like what 4 or 5-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm correct, I think y'all did go 4 or 5-1. So
Here, I
that's
got
why
this.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that loss against Kansas City was a a moral
Okay.
defeat, because last year y'all went 4-1.
All right, I got the schedule pulled up here. So
Okay.
we go from Chiefs to Texans, obviously, and then from Texans to Bears. Then we play the Vikings, which that'll be an
All
easy
winnable
win.
games.
Then we play the Chargers. That'll be a close one. But I think the Browns. I mean, we'll see how the Chargers do against. Who are they playing again? It's a tough game.
Chargers play Dallas this week.
Dallas. We'll see how they do against Dallas. If they dominate Dallas or they look really good against Dallas, then I might say the Chargers might get us there. But Cardinals, that'll be a tough game. But I think the Browns offensively are going to have the same thing. They're going to be able to run their offense. So I'm not worried about that too much. Then we go to the Broncos. I think Denver's good. I just don't. I think by this point in the season, we're going to catch our rhythm, and I think we'll handle Denver. Steelers, I always tend to go 1-1 with the Steelers. This game is at Cleveland. I'm going to pick Cleveland in the first one. And then from there, Bengals. Who knows? I mean, that could be a tough one. The Patriots, I think that game will be a tough game. Lions, that'll be easy. We have the Ravens back-to-back weeks.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, and depending on the Ravens, I mean, I don't know with that one. That could be either a great game, as it always is, or if the Ravens struggle this year, I don't know.
Do y'all have a bye week yet?
It doesn't have it up here.
Oh, okay.
I can't. It's towards the end of the year, I know.
Okay.
And then we got the Raiders. Then we had the Packers, Steelers, and end with the Bengals.
Okay, so it seems like the end of the year, y'all are gonna have some tough games.
Yeah, the Packers, the Steelers. Well, depending on how the Packers, get in shape.
Steelers, the Browns,
Steelers,
the Bengals.
Yeah.
Those are gonna be some tough games.
Yeah, but you know what? Honestly, I mean, this is the first year that I'm not afraid of anybody, and that's not a hate thing or thinking other teams suck. I just think we finally have the right coach.
Yep.
We finally have things set in place. Our quarterback has turned into the franchise guy we all hoped. We got our system down. It's just we got to figure out things defensively, and I think as the season goes on, I think we'll figure that out. So I'm confident. I'm not saying we're going undefeated from here. That's not what I'm saying, but I think we can hang with anybody, and I think we can beat just about anybody, as I think we proved against the Chiefs.
Rick said, how far do you guys think the Browns are off from winning the Super Bowl? Like how many years, or do you think it could be this year? Do you think it'd be next year? I mean, how far do you think?
I would say at least another year. I think they just got to get some things under their belt first. Before I say Super Bowl, I'm going to say AFC Championship. I'm going to say win the division. And that's not to say the Browns can't do it this year, because I think by the end of the year, I think our defense will be better. I think offensively, we're going to be clicking even more. But I would say about a year. But I think the Super Bowl window is probably another 2 to 3 years.
Okay, another 2 to 3 years for Super Bowl window?
Yeah.
For Baker Mayfield. Wow. All right. Well, that pretty much has it for like Browns Texans talk. Is there anything else you want to add, or?
Going to the Ohio State game Saturday. Hopefully, I don't.
Let me ask you that. Ohio State loses to Oregon, man. That was a big ups. I mean,
it's embarrassing.
I mean, I'm not going to say it was embarrassing, but I mean, I'm not saying that it's not any given Saturday, but I did not see Oregon going into Ohio State and winning that game.
Well, I mean, our issues are we have a 19-year-old starting quarterback who is just terrified. I mean, he's nervous every game. He's missing guys high. They've got to somehow calm him down, and I don't have an answer for you there. I don't know what to do. because it's kind of a him thing. It's whenever he finally feels comfortable, but he's got the best receiver core in the country. So it's not like he doesn't have help. I think that's a timing thing with him. And then defensively, Ryan Day came out and he said things got to change and they're going to do it. So I have faith that things will get better. But as far as, are we an elite team this year? Are we going to make the playoffs? I don't know. At this point, I just hope we don't lose another game.
You can still win your conference and then get into
your
championship.
Yeah, but I mean, Steven, the thing is, and I don't want to say it was an argument, but, in one of the videos I made about this loss, people were saying, you act like Oregon's not a good team. It's not a disrespect thing to Oregon. It's just when you're Clemson, when you're Georgia, when you're Oklahoma, when you're Alabama, you don't judge yourself on, is this team I'm playing good? It's, how did I look in comparison to Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma?
Exactly.
Clemson?
You're comparing yourself against the best.
Exactly. And we looked terrible. If we played, maybe we can hang with Oklahoma right now, but if we played Georgia, that's a blowout for Georgia. If we played Alabama, you might as well not even get off the bus. I mean, that's going to be a blowout for Alabama. It's just, I don't know. It's going to be a long year.
It is what it is. Alabama and Georgia look like the front two runners of winning.
Yeah.
Georgia doesn't have like a prolific offense, but they got a stellar defense. Same defense that I see from Alabama. And defense wins championships. I think if Georgia can get to the top four, I think it's going to be Georgia and Bama.
I do too. And also, you got to keep in mind, Georgia's got guys coming back from injuries. George Pickens, their best receiver, will be coming back. So we'll see.
Who does Ohio State got? Who does Ohio State got this week?
Tulsa, I think. Tulsa.
Oh, that should be a give. Yeah, y'all guys should win that game like 75-0 or whatever.
Well, I hope. I want to see some backup quarterbacks, and hopefully they look better in CJ. But
who do y'all got after? Who's your first conference game against?
Well, our first conference game was Minnesota.
Oh,
which was
never
the
mind.
first
So who do y'all
one.
play after Tulsa?
I can pull that up for you.
Yeah, because I want to see those Ohio State versus Michigan. I think they're in y'all's conference, right?
Yeah.
And then Indiana. Y'all play Indiana, don't y'all?
Mm-hmm. Well, Minnesota's not in the Big Ten. What is it? East. But it's still a Big Ten game.
Who do y'all play after Tulsa?
Get this. What a tough game we got after this. Akron.
Oh, God. Two gimme wins right there.
Mm-hmm. So we have Akron. Then we have Rutgers. Which Rutgers, normally they suck, but I tell you what, I think Shiano has got them coming back a little bit. Okay. Maryland, and then Indiana. There's your Indiana game.
Yeah, Hoosiers.
Mm-hmm. Penn State. This is going to be an interesting one. If Ohio State doesn't get their stuff together by this game, I think Penn State wins. Nebraska after that, Purdue, Michigan State, and then Michigan. So,
that Michigan State-Michigan game is going to be tough ones too.
Yeah, Michigan State every year is they come into that game looking pretty good. Well, I don't want to say every year, but it seems like the last few years they come in looking good and then they struggle. Michigan, Ohio State always gets up for the Michigan game. If you remember a couple years ago, everybody had us losing. It was the Haskins year. Our defense was terrible. I see a lot of similarities between that team and this team. And Ohio State came out and they just kicked the crap out of them. So, I at this point, Ohio State hasn't shown me anything to question that game on if we'll win or not. So, until we lose, if we ever do, at this point, it's hard to even say that because, the recruiting and just who knows. But I think we'll always get up for the Michigan game. But I'm more worried about Penn State at this point, I still think if Ohio State wins out, I still think you guys get in the top four. Probably, but you know what? It's almost like the elitism type thing there, where it's their name brand.
Yeah.
But and you know, I really do think if it comes down to it, and Ohio State kind of looks like they've looked the last few weeks, but we win, you know, and it comes down to Ohio State at 4 or Cincinnati at 4, put Cincinnati in. Put Cincinnati in and leave us out, because Cincinnati has looked great. They're a group. What are they? Group of 5 schools? Is that right?
Yeah,
I think that's right. So I think Cincinnati this year, they're special, and I think this is the best chance a group of 5 schools had of getting in. So it coming from me first. If we look mediocre all year and it's down to us or Cincinnati, leave us out.
Nice. We got Rice this week, which Texas should beat Rice, and then of course we got
What do you
Texas
think
Tech.
about while I got you here? What do you think about you and Oklahoma joining the SEC?
Oh man, I kind of the prodigal Hill. He's a guy that predicted Browns win the Super Bowl this year. He's a big Texas guy like I am, and he was on one of my last shows and we talked about it. He was saying that that the SEC basically dominates the league in terms of like rigging teams to get in, and how the SEC network and all that. Basically, the NCAA gives them billions of dollars so that you can see their teams on television all the time and revenue and stuff. And he was saying that the problem was that the SEC was like too much of a powerful conference, and it was like they sort of had politics on the playoffs. And you could get 1, 2, even 3 SEC teams in the playoffs. And then you got another conference that, an ACC or somebody or your division makes it in. So he was saying that why would Texas and OU go over there if you're just basically making the problem worse when you could have went and had a Notre Dame or somebody come in here and then made the Big 12 better. And I'm kind of on board with that, because now if Texas goes to the SEC, we're probably going to have an average season like 6-6. We'll be like another Ole Miss, you know what I'm saying? Like just an average 500 team, and that's it. Even though our conference would be our division would be Arkansas, LSU, us, and Oklahoma. So that would be okay, but then we got to play in Tuscaloosa every other year, and and that's going to be a tough schedule. But I think Texas is looking at it from a recruitment standpoint, from a money thing. But I honestly think looking back at it now, I think we should have stayed in the Big 12 and try to recruit.
Yeah, that's my thing is right now, the way the playoffs is set up, it's all about your conferences, and 2 SEC teams can get in. But I mean, if you're, and I'm looking specifically at Oklahoma, if you're Oklahoma, you've been getting in the playoffs every year just because you've been rolling through the Big 12 for the most part. Yeah. Why would you go to the SEC just to lose 2-3 games, whatever? It just doesn't make sense. I mean, if the playoffs were 12 teams like they're looking at going to, it would make a little bit more sense to me. But now, I mean, you're grading of the best of 4, and a lot of these teams get in because they play cupcakes all year and they look great. Then they play the tough teams and they suck. So, I mean, it just, and
a lot of it has to do with teams doing good the year prior. So the Alabama, if they just continue winning, they keep that spot.
And it's like that year when Ohio State got in over Penn State and we shouldn't have. It's just there's favoritism. And I understand that. As an Ohio State fan, I'm not saying I'm greedy or, I want to be in every year no matter how bad we are. That's not what I'm saying. It's just the reality of college football and the way it's set up.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're absolutely all right on that. So before I let you go, do you got Ohio State making the top 4, or what do you got them finishing?
Well, man, I don't even know, because at this point, I think Alabama and Georgia are locks to get in no matter who wins the SEC championship. Behind them, Clemson's looked suspect. Oklahoma's looked suspect. Ohio State's looked suspect. Cincinnati's been great. But again, there's always that elitism thing like I'm telling you about here. If I had to put money on it, I would probably say yes, just because of who's leading the ship here in Ryan Day. It's not an urban thing where we fold like the year we played Purdue or Iowa. We haven't had that. And I trust that he's going to get things right. I just don't know how good we'll be. I think we'll be good, but how good is the question. And especially Saturday, and this is the thing I'm going to be kind of paying attention to. Scheme standpoint, are you adjusting? What are you doing? Are you going to attack downfield more? This is stuff we need to see. And when you play these cupcake teams, this is when you got to get things right. So I'm hoping to see good things this weekend, but
You're
it's
going to
me.
the game, right?
Yep.
So how far is Ohio State school from you?
Well, it just depends with traffic. I would say probably 15, 20 minutes, probably closer to 20 minutes.
Brown Stadium?
Oh, Cleveland is, I think, a little over 2.5 hours.
Oh, damn. It's not too bad at all. So if you want to go to a Browns game, you could do that too.
Yeah, I still have yet to go to my first Browns game. So it's pretty annoying when I talk about the team for the most part on YouTube, and I still haven't been, but I'm trying to go. Me and my friend had set up a plan to go to training camp, and that never happened. And we're trying to get or try to do something to go to a game, but we'll see. It's just hard.
Oh shit! Robert Smith says he's an hour and a half from Cleveland. I went to Jerry's World 2 weeks ago. Actually uploaded my video and I drove through like the whole downtown Dallas area. Dude, I had a blast. And I'm not even a Cowboys fan, but I drove through Dallas and got to drive through downtown. I saw the JFK assassination. I saw the Bank of America Tower, which is their big tower, and it's like lit green at night. Have you ever seen the skyline or downtown Dallas? You ever see it on Google Images? You see a big tall building that's lit green. It's their Bank of America Tower. I went across the Hunt. I can't think of the Hunt's wife's name, but I went across her bridge, which is basically the Hunt family, which is the one that owns the Kansas City Chiefs when they were the Dallas Texans, and then they named the bridge after his wife. And then of course they have a mansion out there too in Dallas. I got to see their actual mansion. Yeah, White Rock Lake.
That's cool.
Man, dude, it was cool. Then I went to Arlington. I went to the knockouts there, which is like women in G-string serving you drinks and food. And then after we ate there, we went to Jerry's World and got to see AT&T Stadium. Dude, that stadium is lit, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even a Cowboys fan, but it had me pumped up for football. I'm like, I'm excited to watch football now.
Yeah, money can get you a lot of things, that's for sure.
Jerry Jones got it lit. All right, man, well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up, DF Sports, man. I appreciate for having you on, man.
Yeah, it was fun. I was glad you had this. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get on, but it worked out. Yeah. You just so happened to catch me when I had everything set up and good to go. So perfect.
Yeah, good luck Sunday, man. What we'll do is I may get on Saturday and we may talk a little football at night just to cover the games. I might have like an open panel where people can get on. If you want to join, you're more than welcome to.
Cool. I'll check it out.
All right, man. We'll take it easy, DF Sports, man.
You too. See you.
Hey, guys. That was one hell of a hangout. I had a good time, man. I'm going to go ahead and get the hell up out of here. So I'm probably going to live stream tomorrow, most likely. So I've pretty much talked about sports. So, all right, everybody, I'm out. Peace.